2025 was stacked with anime. The big names dominated every conversation. But while everyone was watching the same few shows, some genuinely great anime went almost completely unnoticed. Not because they were bad, but because they didn't have hype behind them. These aren't kind of good shows. These are shows with real storytelling, emotional payoff, and creative vision that most people completely missed. This list isn't about hype, rankings, or popularity. It's about quality that went underappreciated. Here are 10 underrated anime from 2025 that deserved way more attention. Let's start with a show that turned workplace exhaustion into a surprisingly clever fantasy, proving that even slice-of-life humor can hide sharp action and heart when done right. I may be a guild receptionist, but I'll solo any boss to clock out on time. This anime takes a familiar fantasy setup and flips it into something surprisingly relatable. Instead of glory or ambition, the driving force here is simple: finishing work on time. Alina's double life as a receptionist and secret powerhouse creates a perfect blend of comedy and action. The humor lands because it's rooted in burnout, routine, and modern work culture. It's sharp, self-aware, and far more thoughtful than most people expected. From workplace comedy and fantasy action, the next anime shifts entirely toward atmosphere and emotional tension. Kowloon Generic Romance. Kowloon Generic Romance is all about mood. Its retro-futuristic setting isn't just aesthetic, it shapes the entire emotional experience. The story unfolds quietly, letting small gestures and visual details do the heavy lifting. Romance, mystery, and identity blend together in a way that feels deeply personal. It's the kind of anime that doesn't demand attention, it earns it. While Kowloon Generic Romance focused on mood and memory, number 8 leans into creativity and imagination. Zenshu. Zenshu stands out because it's driven by creativity itself. It's a story about creation, purpose, and reshaping the world through imagination. The fantasy elements feel expressive rather than formulaic. There's a genuine sense of passion behind every idea the show explores. For viewers who enjoy originality and thematic depth, Zenshu was an easy standout in 2025. Zenshu explored the power of creation. The next anime finds meaning in stillness and reflection. Apocalypse Hotel. Apocalypse Hotel tells a post-apocalyptic story without relying on chaos or destruction. Instead, it focuses on memory, routine, and quiet perseverance. The hotel becomes a symbol of humanity's absence and hope for its return. Every episode carries a gentle sense of reflection. It's understated, thoughtful, and emotionally resonant in a way few anime attempts. From quiet contemplation, we move into something far more emotionally driven. Medalist. Medalist is a powerful story about second chances. It captures the emotional reality of chasing a dream that feels just out of reach. The bond between mentor and student gives the series its heart. Every success feels meaningful because of the effort behind it. It's inspiring without being flashy, and that sincerity is exactly why it deserves more recognition. Medalist centered on perseverance and mentorship. Number 5 turns inward, focusing on personal courage. Secrets of the Silent Witch. This anime shines through emotional subtlety. Its magic isn't just power, it's a reflection of personal growth. Monika's journey is about learning to connect, speak up, and trust others. Her struggles feel human, even in a fantasy setting. It's warm, character-driven, and deeply comforting, a series many people simply overlooked. Secrets of the Silent Witch was gentle and introspective, while number 4 takes a far more unsettling path. The Summer Hikaru Died. This anime uses horror to explore grief and identity. The fear comes not from monsters, but from emotional uncertainty. The relationship at the center of the story carries immense weight. Silence, tension, and atmosphere do more than dialogue ever could. It's haunting, intimate, and one of the most emotionally powerful anime of the year. After the emotional weight of psychological horror, number 3 brings warmth, humor, and charm back into the spotlight. Witch Watch. Witch Watch is one of the most consistently funny anime of 2025, and it understands why its comedy works. The jokes aren't just random gags, they're built around character chemistry and timing. What really elevates it is how naturally the romantic and wholesome moments blend into the humor. The cuter, quieter scenes hit because the characters feel genuinely comfortable around each other. It's light, charming, and surprisingly heartfelt. Witch Watch isn't just a comedy. It's the kind of show that makes you smile without trying too hard, and that balance is harder to pull off than it looks. Witch Watch thrived on comedy and chemistry, but number 2 shifts into much darker territory. Clevatess. Clevatess stands out as one of the darkest and most thematically heavy anime of 2025. Its world feels cruel, unforgiving, and morally complex, in a way that immediately draws comparisons to classic dark fantasy like Berserk. Violence isn't just spectacle here, it reinforces the weight of the world and the choices its characters make. The story constantly questions heroism, power, and survival rather than glorifying them. What makes Clevatess special is how it balances brutality with emotional depth. It's grim, intense, and unapologetic, a dark fantasy that commits fully to its tone and vision. Before revealing the number one pick, there are a few more anime that deserve recognition. Yaiba, a classic brought back with modern energy, sharp action, strong character presence, and way more fun than people expected. It simply slipped under the radar. Sanda, weird in the best way, bold tone, striking presentation, and a story that isn't afraid to be different. Not for everyone, but unforgettable if it clicks. A wild last boss appeared. Pure power fantasy done right. Confident world building, an imposing main character, and exactly the kind of fantasy anime fans quietly love. From old country bumpkin to Wordmaster, a calm, grounded fantasy that values experience over flash. Mature, thoughtful, and surprisingly satisfying, especially if you're tired of noisy isekai trends. And now, the most underrated anime of 2025, a series that delivered on every level. To Be Hero X. To Be Hero X is the most emotionally impactful and creatively ambitious anime of 2025. Even if it didn't dominate the conversation, despite not being as widely discussed as titles like Lord of the Mysteries, its execution is on another level. The animation is exceptional, blending 2D and 3D seamlessly to create dynamic, expressive action and powerful emotional scenes. Every fight, transition, and visual motif feels intentional rather than flashy. To Be Hero X doesn't rely on hype, it earns its impact through confidence, creativity, and one of the strongest visual identities of the year. And that's why it stands as the most underrated anime of 2025. And that's my list of the most underrated anime of 2025. These weren't shows that failed, they were shows that simply didn't get the spotlight they deserved. Now I want to hear from you. Which underrated anime from 2025 stood out to you? And which one do you think deserved more attention? And if you're curious about the new anime Winter 2026 is bringing, I've already covered the biggest new titles this season. You can check that out next. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.